Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another vlog and another video. So this past Saturday, a few days ago, you probably remember a vlog and video of how we got the good news about going on Disney Cruise from Monday, May 18th till Friday, May 22nd, and how we got all the, important paperwork to fill out and stuff. And we've got a pretty huge part of everything. We've got a pretty huge part of stuff all filled out and stuff. It's just that it sounds like it's probably in our best interest to have this all finished up and all done the rest of the way by end of the week, by end of the week, or if not, sometime next week. And then for payments and stuff, like even if we don't do it all at once, like maybe half this month for February and the other half next month for March, and the other half next month for month, and the other half next, and the other half and the other half and the other half next month, and the other half next month for March. So like they said, like maybe like it would be in best interest, like we do first half of payment like by sometime next week. It would be in our best interest to plan on doing the first half of payment for this month for February sometime next week, and then we'll do the other half of payment for Disney cruise trip some point next month for March. Some point next month for March. Because being 3,595, yeah. So we'll do half. We'll do half of it this month for February and the other half next month for March. People around here say it is kind of in our best interest to get the first half taken care of sometime next week. Sometime next week. So we'll do our best to have that taken care of by then, and of course try by end of the week this week, and not like some point this weekend, definitely some point early middle of next week, have the rest of this all finished up and all done the rest of the way and all taken care of. One other thing too, so I ended up updating my web browser on my laptop, because last night when I got ready to upload vlog and video that we did late last night, and blowing up the two bags of chips that we had left over from a couple of days ago, this past Sunday for Super Bowl Sunday, this past Sunday, I saw this yellow line thing saying, quote, that soon YouTube is going to stop supporting web browsers like Internet Explorer and stuff. So, I thought, well, the best way for us to be able to have a greater chance of being able to continue to upload videos to YouTube is probably to just go through the process we need to go through with updating web browser. And so that's pretty much what we did. And so it sounds like web browsers that will definitely continue to support social media websites like YouTube, or websites like web browsers that it sounds like shall continue to support support social media websites like YouTube and stuff, are web browsers like Microsoft Edge, Chrome. I think Firefox is another one. I chose Microsoft Edge. It did kind of take a little bit of practicing and just seeing, making sure certain stuff from certain other websites that we've definitely used a lot of, like Shutterfly and Facebook, shall still work. It all looks as if everything shall all still continue to work just fine, just fine, just 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 fine. Another thing that it sounds like it's in that we kind of need to do, and it's in our best interest to kind of get to work on, and one of our managers and couple one of our other people as well brought to our attention that since for Disney Cruise, parts of Disney Cruise, passport is going to be required. Of course, if you're going to make stops to, like, Nassau and, like, Bahamas and Nassau and stuff, my current passport, again, this Disney Cruise is going to be little more than halfway through May, little more than halfway through, a good bit past middle of May. My current passport don't expire till a month after that, but it will obviously be near the end before current passport expired. So a couple of our people here, including one of our managers and one of our other people on top of that as well, brought to our attention that it is in our best interest to get to work probably like right now with working on renewing and applying for and getting a new passport. The sooner you get around to doing that stuff, the better. The last thing, so one thing, my advice to those of you all other YouTubers that upload a lot of your videos and content from certain web browsers that YouTube may not be supporting much longer. Go through the process you need to go through to update your web browser to like a different web browser that shall definitely continue to support social media websites like YouTube. Especially for those of you that have some of the bigger, and especially for those of you that have bigger YouTube channels and stuff. Another thing too. So far I'm doing okay. So far I'm doing all right with getting through this week's work schedule at work at BJ's and stuff. Worked Monday and then yesterday. Yesterday was one of the two 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. shifts. Tomorrow is the other one, and then Friday we finish up with 9 a.m. to 3:45. So my job coach did later in the day, more towards the end of towards the end of shift yesterday. Did manage to drop by for a little while and kind of talk things over with one of our HR people, and so we obviously have not, we've been pretty much been, getting booked with doing, cart retriever kind of stuff and parking lot stuff. Pretty much, we've been pretty much completely getting booked with, doing cart retriever kind of stuff, cart retriever stuff and parking lot stuff, and stuff, which is good, So we obviously have not been booked for any recovery shifts in well over 7 months now. So, and now initially, there was kind of a little bit of the idea of perhaps trying out like, some other recovery shifts. I mean, they just had my job coach kind of, check with me yesterday on, my thoughts on if I'd even care for that or whatnot or whatnot. And I mean, of course, my things just, that, obviously again, people pretty much understood as well, that of course, yes, again, we have not been booked to do any recovery shifts in well over 7 months now, since well more than well past the middle of June last year, well past the middle of June. And of course, and they all and everybody pretty much understood, so basically, kind of, talked about like, perhaps, such weeks like, seeing about like, trying to work out like, having things in a way where like such like, like longer days wouldn't always have to be so completely back to back, completely back to back exactly, and like, like kind of, I guess, spread out or whatnot. Once again, like we said, and of course, our people understood that, our biggest thing is, cart retriever kind of stuff and parking lot stuff. And everybody pretty much understood all that and stuff. And again, yes, we have not gotten, again, once more, we have not gotten booked to do any kind of recovery kind of stuff, any kind of recovery shifts or recovery stuff in well over 7 months now. So, once again, like we've said, we've been at BJ's Wholesale Club. We've been working at BJ's Wholesale Club. We've been at BJ's Wholesale Club. We've been working at BJ's Wholesale Club well over a whole year now. And like I may have said in one of the videos that we had done this past weekend, this past Saturday, the way that kind of had looked at it last year was like, okay, we have a job again, we're making cash again, we've got the cash coming in again, we've got the cash consistently coming in again consistently, stuff like that, and so like, for now we'll try and just deal with, the way things sometimes got to be around here, even if that meant just consistently getting used to dealing with the longer days and stuff, like primarily 7-hour here and there, 7.5-hour days. And, we had a couple 8-hour, we had a couple 8-hour days last year. The time I remember that being was we had the two 8-hour days the week of 4th of July Independence Day last year, back in early July, which was cool. We got through that all right. And how, like I've said, this is just, part of switching jobs, part of switching jobs, getting used to dealing with, different logics, and maybe getting used to dealing with working longer days more consistently, more consistently, you know. And so, you know, and so yesterday was actually surprisingly and shockingly, I wouldn't say it was completely, you know, slow completely, but just kind of felt like our work, at least earlier in the day, seemed a little bit too easy for a Tuesday in a way. I mean, again, it wasn't like completely slow, but you know, it just kind of seems kind of slightly kind of slow in a way for a Tuesday. I'm guessing that today I'm guessing that today's probably been hell there because it looks like we're finally going to get our next pretty big snow. Well, I don't think they're calling for it being completely out of control, both tomorrow and Friday to wrap up the week this week, end of the week this week. But I guess one person that I know had said that they heard like 4 inches, like around at least 4 inches tomorrow, and then 6 inches Friday. So I mean, they're not like calling for like, you know, any like out of control, like well over a foot of snow exactly, but they're calling for enough where it's probably in anybody's best interest to do as much of their shopping as possible, as they possibly can, as possible today, you know, before getting around probably would be kind of would probably be quite tough and quite challenging. You know, so and so, I mean, if they're calling for like 4 inches of snow tomorrow, I mean, I wouldn't think that tomorrow would be too much different from how a Thursday usually would be at work at BJ's Wholesale Club, at Henrietta BJ's Wholesale Club location, to work at BJ's and stuff, work at BJ's Wholesale Club. I mean, maybe a little less going on than normal, but probably not too much different. Probably can't, you know, don't try to underestimate it too much, you know, once you get a point where, you know, the snow will let up, then people will probably try to get on the road again a little bit more. You know, so that's why I'm saying that today's probably been quite hell there, probably, you know. Again, today we had off, obviously, like we had said before. You know, once again, backtracking to, you know, like again, you know, the dealing with working the longer shifts, longer days, longer shifts consistently. You know, like, you know, at this point, we're really good all in all with members, with the members first perspective and stuff. And again, like I've said, I kind of probably said it again in one of my videos I did this past weekend, especially this past Saturday. I know I've said this in one of my other videos that I had done a couple months prior before. You know, at times, in almost just about any retail store, any store, when it comes to assisting, you know, such people, it can tend to be a patience game. You know, like, you know, there are some of those people there that you can, you know, can be the kind of people that where you really got to act like you do know what you're doing all in all, you know, because, you know, sometimes it may not always take much, you know, for people to lose it, or for people to get mad, you know, if something is kind of, you know, unsure or uncertain. And, and so, like I explained, the slight situation towards the end of our shift on Friday, this past, this past, this past Friday, end of last, end of last week, where, like towards the end of our shift, we'd been in slight situation where, like when they had given one of our other people a buzz to go and load twin mattress on like a flat deck cart or something for somebody, and then bring it over to the service desk. And they had buzzed them a couple of times, and they got no response. And so I had ended up agreeing to go over and take care of that, and so I did. And then of course, once we had found the person who had been purchasing it all, and we knew everything was good, it had been all rang up and stuff, and then going out to car and vehicle again, they pretty much had SUV for trying to get it all into, and again, we were successful with it. It's just we used part of a the cart that we were using to wheel it all out for support, for trying as we were going about trying to get it all in. And we didn't realize till it was too late that that it ended up making a movement where the cart kind of ended up touching back bumper a little bit, where once again it didn't leave any like real true like ding or it didn't leave any like true ding or dent or anything, nothing like that, but it did leave a little mark, a little bit, enough to the point where and they asked, like, did your cart end up touching the back bumper? And then we looked at it and it said, yeah, yes, it ended up touching the back bumper. And then, of course, at the end, they had said, you really need to watch what you're doing. You really need to watch what you're doing. You really need to at times watch what you're doing with some of these carts, And again, that was it after that. And then right after that, final thing to finish up, last little bit of our shift on Friday was assisting a gentleman with, one of his large water orders and stuff, and kind of somebody that you kind of feel like you will have to sort of be on guard a little bit with. There's somebody that you really kind of have to just kind of do exactly as you're told by them, and we cope with that all right, all in all. And once more, like I said, it is obvious that, again, like we said before, and like we're saying once again right now, it does at times take patience. It does at times take patience to work at such department stores or retail stores like BJ's, Costco, even Walmart, Target, even at home, or such grocery stores, or even like Home Depot, Lowe's, any kind of store where you're definitely gonna where you're definitely expected to do everything you can to please everyone customer wise, and we do pretty much well. I wouldn't say we do exactly. I don't want to say we do exactly just fine. We all do great. We all in all do great with we all do great with that. Like just and and like 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 such, long hours of like, of course, we are pretty good at what we do with mainly cart retrieving the parking lot at this point right now, at this point in time, at this stage of the game right now. Once again, I mean, we do kind of have our side that is kind of, made us have thoughts off and on about maybe some point eventually, maybe not too far down the road, perhaps thinking about giving something else a try, like perhaps maintenance, more so the front door stuff, again, where you check everybody's receipt on their way out and take a look at their stuff, make sure everything's good, that definitely more so. That definitely more so. So, this year, a year later, it's to the point where, it's like I've said, stuff can, after a certain period of time, can start wearing on you a little bit after a certain period of time. Where, like, yes, job you had before this one, job you had before this one, for the remainder of time that you were at, job that you were at before this one, you hadn't had a job in quite a long time where you were, consistently getting up more at like, 7 o'clock a.m. 7 a.m. in the morning at the latest, and, consistently having shifts where you're consistently there for the day, and you're, where you're consistently, for us, for us, not so much, 9 to 5, but 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. later in the day at the most, consistently, stuff like that. Once again, like, like I said in at least one of my videos, one of my vlogs, one of my videos I did early last year and stuff, after we had gotten into the situation that led to us facing termination from Wegmans almost 2 years ago, and then giving Buffalo Bills camp a try for the couple of weeks that it had been going on. Then, again, like, for a little over 2 months, we had been without a job, and things had kind of gotten to the point where, our financial situation was kind of getting a bit weaker for a little while, but again, it didn't get too much. Again, like we said, like we had said before, and I think at least one of our videos that we did, pretty close to almost, I think, kind of probably around this time last year, a year ago, probably around this time last year. Maybe a touch later than that. Again, we had been without a job for a little over 2 months. Of course, once we had finally landed the job at BJ's, of course, weight had definitely been lifted off of pretty much just about every one of our people's shoulders and stuff. That, okay, now he's going to start making money. He's going to start making money again. He's going to start having the cash coming in again, and like we said, the reason why we ended up choosing to pursue doing some kind of people and places cruise, in this case doing Disney Cruise, because we have now gotten to the point where we've pulled together pretty well more than enough money to be able to cover a $3,595 bill. Like we said, we're do half of it this month. And we're gonna take care of half of it this month for February, and the other half next month for March. The first half we're gonna try really hard to get around to getting taken care of sometime, hopefully around this time next week. Hopefully around this time next week. And of course, once the time does come to go on Disney cruise trip in latter half of May, we are probably going to want to bring an unlimited amount. And we are probably going to want to bring an unlimited amount an unlimited amount of souvenir cash. Being that it'll be going for a few days, a few days, and as long as the big picture around the stops that they're usually supposed to go to are good, then certain stops that we end up making, as long as the big picture is okay for the Bahamas and Nassau and the Bahamas and the private island of Castaway Cay and stuff, then there could be some souvenir gift shops or other stuff that we may have interest in getting a little bit of some stuff from there, as well. The reason that I'm saying it that way, so I saw I've been watching other YouTubers' experiences from Disney Cruise, just to kind of help me get some ideas of what to put down, what to put down, what to write down, what to put down, what to write down on certain parts of this yellow sheet paperwork, on certain parts of this paperwork right here, to kind of make it easier. This morning I watched a part of a clip where there were these folks, these other YouTubers that went sometime this past October, some point back in October, and it was the fact of the matter is that it was soon after Hurricane Dorian had ended up occurring. So one of the things that was that's usually supposed to occur with Disney Cruise and stuff, making stop to Castaway Cay and stuff, there was just, place was just way too torn apart, and way too much work that needed to be done on it for them to be able to make that stop. So they just kind of had to pass. They just kind of had to pass on doing Castaway Cay kind of stops. So they just ended up spending the final day on the ship, pretty much, which it sounds like wasn't so bad for them, and of course they had talked about how they were going to try and eventually, some point in the near future, try it again with doing Disney Cruise again, due to the fact that they had to pass on Castaway Cay. The fact of the matter is, they said that it probably wouldn't be for at least a few more years, because it did take them some time to be able to save up for Disney Cruise. They ended up doing back in October. This, I believe, was the Neverland family, the Neverland family, and by the way, I guess this is the perfect time to say huge shout out to the Neverland family. I appreciate watching some of your vlogs and some of your videos from Disney Cruise trip that you had done not too long ago, and definitely given me some pretty good ideas of stuff to try to pursue. Try to pursue. try to pursue on our Disney cruise trip, you know. And but just of course, depending on your financial situation, and like, yes, of course, if you're one of the people that we've seen going on such cruises like Disney Cruise and stuff, you have definitely gotten to the point where you've definitely pulled together, where you definitely at least know that you've definitely pulled together enough money to be able to cover everything involved. It's just, after that, for some of you, it is gonna take some time to little by little be able to build things back to be able to afford to do it again, depending on your financial situations and stuff, and how your financial situations usually have been before that, prior and stuff. Prior and stuff, financial situations prior and stuff. So yeah, so there's plenty to do on the ship. It is good to be able to make. It is good to be able to make those other interesting stops to like Bahamas and Nassau and Bahamas, and even Castaway Cay. That is, as long as everything's good there. Once again, for those folks, Neverland family, those folks, Neverland family that went back in about early mid-October. The one stop they kind of had to pass on, that they couldn't do, and that they kind of had to pass on, was the Castaway Cay stop, due to the fact that Hurricane Dorian had just recently occurred, and so there was just way too much disaster-like stuff in Castaway Cay. So again, that's why they had to pass. That's why they had to pass on that. So so I guess we'll take a quick look outside real quick. Yep, no snow for this early in February, but it looks like it'll be back tomorrow and Friday. There's the tree that ended up. There's a tree in the edge of it. There's a tree in the edge of our woods that ended up falling over in that windstorm day after Halloween. Now that I think about it, now that I remember in the beginning of November and stuff. All right, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this vlog and this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up. For sure, be sure to go down and comment down below if you wish. Be sure to go down, hit that subscribe button for sure. Be sure to go down and subscribe. Be sure to go down and hit that subscribe button for sure. So take it easy with the upcoming snow activity, both tomorrow and Friday, to finish up the week and end of the week. Be safe out there, drive carefully, and get your snow blowers back out and ready again. Get your shovels ready again. Get your snow melting stuff ready. I hear a knock on the door, so I gotta end the video. That's all for now, and Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good afternoon. Talk to you later. Peace.